Hello folks, I'm your host and professional gun dog trainer Dan Hosford. Today, Sanine and I are down here in Las Vegas at the SHOT Show convention.
In today's episode of Annie's Alley, we're going to be introducing Annie to the 3-inch bumper along with the Dokken deadfall trainer. And this should be interesting since our last episode with the 1.5 inch.
Absolutely. After that, we're going to do the second half of the goose hunt we were doing with Steve Hanning. It's going to be absolutely awesome, guys. You need to stay and watch the rest of that.
And in training grounds, we're going to be bringing Mally back to the Double T, where we're going to introduce her to her right and left overs along with her long blinds.
Correct. Yep. Teaching momentum and how to stop at a distance on the whistle and cast left or right cleanly.
So sit back and relax, and let's build teams for the field. Take them!
The Working Man's Retriever is brought to you by Dave Smith Motors, the world's largest Dodge and Chrysler dealer. Eddie Bauer Sports Shop, 90 years in the making. Hempler's, authentic European smoked meats, family owned since 1934. Paw Print Genetics, the definitive resource for canine genetic. Truck Vault, secure vehicle storage solutions. Working Man's Retriever, building teams for the field. NARA, conservation through the development of trained retrievers.
Hello and welcome to Annie's Alley. In our last episode, Annie learned the 2-finger hold lesson. But because she's such a fast and eager learner, we needed to progress her on to the bumper hold. In the bumper hold, she learned how to hold a 1.5 inch white bumper securely in her mouth without dropping it, then releasing the bumper with the drop command. We then moved the bumper hold to the floor, where Annie learned to hold onto the bumper while practicing her obedience and recall command. So now it's time to introduce her to a 3-inch bumper and a Dokken deadfall trainer.
Correct. Now, remember why we're going to do this? We want to teach her how to open her mouth to take a hold of larger objects, like the ducks.
Okay, exactly.
The smaller bumpers are fine if we're going to use quail and pigeons, but she still has to learn how to open her mouth a little bit further to take the larger objects. And this is an ideal time to teach her how to open that mouth, hold on to the object until you've told her to release it. Okay?
Okay. So I'm going to start by taking my thumb and my middle finger, and I'm going to squeeze her mouth and roll the bumper in. Pull up, pull down, so it's not caught in her teeth and causing her any discomfort. Hold.
Yep.
Hold.
Right. Now this is exactly the same sequence that Sanine was using when she did the 1.5 inch bumper. It's exactly the same, it's just the object is larger. You still would follow all of the same steps.
Okay. She looks like she's doing really well.
I'm impressed.
Awesome.
So tap the bumper for me a couple of times, though.
Hold.
That's right.
Whoop.
There we go.
There. Hold.
Good.
Lips up, lips down.
And reward.
Good.
Now in this kind of sequence, you saw where Sanine tapped the bumper, she dropped it. If it were to have hit the floor, then Sanine would grab the 1.5 inch bumper out of her pocket, the spare, and get it back in Annie's mouth just as fast as she possibly could. It's the concept of having dropped and then having another bumper in her mouth that actually becomes the teaching phase.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
She hasn't had to use that 1.5 inch bumper because she's been able to catch this 3-inch before it gets to the ground. Very, very fair.
Hold.
Tap and praise.
Hold.
Tap
Good.
and praise. That's right.
Hold. 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 Hold.
Okay. Now take a hold of the end of your bumper and tell her drop.
Drop.
Awesome.
Nicely
Very nice.
done.
Now I want you to see too that
Nice.
where Sanine is at with Annie right now is that when she takes a hold of the bumper and tells her drop, Annie moves away from the bumper. Sanine doesn't take the bumper away from her. It's really important that you teach your dog that they've got to move away from the object that you're holding, that you aren't going to take it from them. They must give it to you.
Think she's ready for a Dokken?
Well, you're the only one that can make that decision.
She did.
You'll be able to tell by the way she's reacting to you whether or not she believes in what you're saying, and you'll be able to feel as to whether or not she's really ready for this particular step.
Okay.
You feel she is?
I think she is.
Awesome. Let's do it. This is the only way we're going to learn.
Oh,
I want
look
you to
at
be
that.
sure when you do this, you use the side of the body.
The side?
Yeah,
Okay.
this side here, the narrow side.
Yep.
Ooh, she's getting ready.
She is.
Use the narrow
She's
side of the
excited.
body and not the thick side of the body. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give this back to you. Now remember, again, you got to control this. That's right, just like you're doing. You control it.
Hold. 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 Hold.
Good, good.
Hold. Hold. I can see where that's a little different. It's
It
a lot
is.
different.
It's altogether
than-
different, isn't it?
yeah,
Because she can push it with her tongue so much
Exactly.
faster.
Hold.
The only thing I'd like to say, and I think the viewers will be able to catch this as I explain it, the instant you begin to roll that Doken into her mouth, the middle finger of your left hand has to be under that chin. The objective there is that we want to keep the chin up a little bit higher. Otherwise, all she
Hold.
has to do is open her mouth
Hold.
and the bumper will fall out. So
Hold.
keep your finger underneath that chin just a little bit.
Okay.
And when you feel that she's relaxed and she's holding it well, then begin to take the pressure away from the chin so that she can concentrate on just holding the bumper and not having your assistance.
Hold. 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 Good. Hold.
And now take your Doken. All
Drop.
she has to hold is just a couple of seconds worth these first few times. Lots of praise.
Good job.
Nicely done.
Nice. What a big difference. And
Isn't it amazing?
Well, if I was to throw the Doken, she has no issue going and picking it up.
Right.
But when you're making her do it,
Correct.
when being
Exactly.
told,
That's the point right there. You're making
of
her do it. When you
difference.
throw it, it's a fun thing. It's a happy, oh, now we go have some fun. We're going to play.
Exactly.
And she'll hold it forever then until you tell her to.
Exactly.
This is why the conditioned hold is so critical. It's the beginning of everything. when he gets back to the Steve, Cindy and I were talking just a few minutes ago. We had a bit of break in the birds and stuff, and relaxing and having a cup of coffee. And we started talking about the coyote down here. And I know it's a stuffed coyote, and I know why I might want to set it there, but I've never hunted in an arrangement or with anybody so far that has used stuffed coyotes. So can you tell us and the viewer a little bit about why you did that?
Well, you know, it's again, we've hunted a lot of big fields. This is a pretty big circle, and we hunt a lot of other circles that are a lot larger than this. And you know, what's really frustrating is when you set up where you think the X is and the birds land over there.
Yeah.
You know, and so I actually do a lot of predator hunting, and so I had this stuffed coyote. So I thought, you know what, I think I'll just put that coyote down there, and then that'll keep the birds from landing there.
Awesome.
And amazing enough, it works quite well. We've had birds come in, go to land in that area, and they'll lift right up, and they'll go, well, we don't want to land there. And you know what, it works pretty darn good. It's I have to admit, I don't think I've ever seen anybody use one either.
I've never seen it. But I mean, and it makes sense. I can see why it would work so well that the show would want to sit down there. And then with calling, you bring them back up here to the top again anyway. And we get a chance to get a shot at it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, Dan, you've got me really excited about this double T.
Okay.
Now, what is the double T and why are we doing this?
As I mentioned earlier, the double T is an extension of a lining drill that we were just doing up on the baseball thing.
Okay.
Right now, your lining drill is, the way this particular drill is set up, is only like 22 to 25 paces to each of the stations from the pitcher's mound, okay? This tee that I have set up, it's a single line, looks just like a tee that you made when you were in grade school, just a single tee, only this is a double tee. So you have your main initial line. In this case, it's about 100 yards from where we're standing here up to the end of the line. And then there are two tees that come across that, kind of like this. Okay. We're going to teach the dog, you're going to teach the dog that she has to run from here the full length of this line and pick up a bumper and turn around and come back. Then we're going to start stopping. You're going to send her up here, and we're going to stop her at either one of those two tees. And when she stops, she's going to turn around and look at you, and then you're going to cast her either left or right, whichever you prefer. Okay? Then once she's picked up that bumper from either the left or the right side, we're going to come back down and run her back through that line, the full length of the line, 2 more times before you come back and stop her then on the second tee and cast her over. So what we're teaching her, the essence of what this drill does is it teaches the dog that just because I set you here and casted you over, the next time I run this line, you've got to go beyond where I set you. Otherwise, they get into the habit of saying, well, I ran my 40 yards. I'm going to stop here and wait for you to tell me where to go. Okay, does that make sense? So we're making her carry the line further than what we were on the baseball cast. Okay. So let's go set this up.
Cue.
Okay, and this is our furthest line out, the second line of the tee. Okay, this will be the furthest that you go. Now, up here just a little bit further, oh, probably another 40 yards or so, is where the end of the pile is, the end of the line. Okay? Now, the purpose of these tees that we have is to stop the dog here. She's going to want to drive all the way through this and go to the back pile because that's what we've been teaching her on all of our lining drill here. When we were doing the lining drill, it's about going from here and getting to the pile as fast as you can. I'm going to reward you lavishly, and then you come running back to me so we can go pick up another one someplace else. All right? All right, so let's line her up, and we're going ahead and go through that.
Heel. Heel. Sit. Dead. Good. Back.
She's got good power.
She's a
and
fast
a lot
dog.
of confidence. Nice job. Happy, happy.
Good
Get happy.
girl. Woo!
That's
Good.
right.
Heel.
That's what gets her to continue that drive for you is when you get happy like that and reward that. That
nice job.
So many people don't reward their dogs for this job, and they need to because otherwise the dog just quits doing it.
Well, they lose their enthusiasm.
Absolutely, they lose their enthusiasm.
Who wants to do a job if you're not rewarded for it?
Absolutely. So, before we start moving back, let's take this opportunity to try some overcasts. Okay? Now, since she's never run this drill before, again, like we always talk about, we use brand new dogs that have never run it, so you can see where there may be issues that happen because your dog may do the same thing. So, let me have that one to keep it out of your way for right now. Just stick it in my back pocket. I want to run each of these overcasts from this point as a line, just as you did here. All we're again doing, we're just trying to identify the pile.
Here. Sit. Here. Sit. Dead. Good. Back.
Praise, praise, praise.
Woo! Good girl. That's
Very
a girl.
nice.
Heel. Sit.
Now, just as we did when we were doing the baseball drill, let's return this bumper back to that station.
Okay.
Okay, now we didn't return the long one
No.
for two reasons. I didn't want to walk that far. And secondly, is because I don't want her to see you plant that bumper. I want her to do this because you've given her the line, and by throwing these back to either side that we run, we're going to add a lot of suction to that. So what I'm hoping for is that she's going to make an error and try to, on her own choice, try to head either left or right here to save herself from having to run the full length of this line, and we'll get the opportunity to make an adjustment.
Okay.
Now, we've added suction, just exactly what we're looking for. So, let's run the other line.
Dead. Good. Back.
Awesome.
Hey, that's a good girl. Awesome.
I would
Good.
say, from what I
Heel.
just got to see, that she identified
Sit.
that post, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
there's
She
no
was
doubt.
looking.
Yeah.
She was looking for
She
it.
started
would
to fall off,
dodge.
and then she
Yep.
caught the white post and carried her line, which
Exactly.
is very good. That's what I wanted that to do.
Yes.
But now, although that really helped her, now you feel really good about that line, but now it's suction.
Okay.
And now it can get us in some trouble when we start running from that end down there. So let's re-identify that, and you can walk up if you want to throw that back into station, but she must stay here, okay? Walk up, and if you want to throw that in to get it, you've got to be sure it gets all the way to the station. Very nice. Good. All right. So what we've got now is that you've got both of these piles identified with your dead good back lining drill, correct?
Yes.
All right. So now what we're going to do to make this a very simple lesson for the dog is we're going to set her back up here on the tee of the station, similar to what we did when we were up there doing the baseball drill. Okay? And we're going to give her a left and a right over because she knows where both of these stations are, but she doesn't know yet that she has to take a cast to get to them. All right? So let's do that here, and then we're going to move that same concept, all this drill work we've done here, back down to the first line, and we'll repeat it there. Then we start working our way back and doing a full length, a full run, all the way up to our back pile. Now you see I've only had Sanine back up probably about 12 feet here. We don't need a lot of distance like this. All we want to do is just remind the dog of the concept of how to take either a right or a left hand over from this point, okay? And we only need to repeat it once. So she'll get one right hand over and one left hand over, unless the dog makes an error. Then again, we'll repeat it until the dog gets it right, then we back up, okay?
Just like the baseball drill.
Exactly the same concept. That's why this second layer is coming up on top of the first layer that we just are done. All right?
Fold them together.
Yep. All
Now
right,
let's
so here
see
we
if
go.
We can do it.
Remember, take your time, concentrate on the dog. Good, clean, straight cast. This is absolutely normal, folks. This is exactly why we put it down here, why we shortened her up and decided to try the casting here. All of the suction from that first run up there was so much for her that now she's taking that cast as a backward motion. This is normal. Please, very, very normal. Do not get upset with the dog. It happens all the time. You catching on the whistle was awesome. You caught her very well. Okay, we stopped that backward momentum. Now the whistle sit brought that down. Now you're going to take away in her mind the idea that she's supposed to go back there. So I don't want you to move up. What I want you to do is to get back in the position you were at and to whistle her toward you. By whistling her towards you, you help stop the backward momentum. Let's try again. Whistle sit first. Bring her back up to the line that you want her on, and then sit her. Count to 2. See that response? Now that coming in, she knows that she made an error because you've stopped all of her backward motion. Okay? This again is very normal. So let's capitalize on that. Let's use that. Okay? So whistle sit again, pivot slowly, and then make your cast. Let's stop there for just a moment, can you? She's telling you everything she wants to do, isn't she? Because she's keep jogging her head to the right, looking to the right, looking to the right. Take your time. Now, if you find this to be an issue, cast her the opposite way.
Okay.
All right? Too much suction, huh? Whistle sit again. Come back to the center, cast her right. Pivot right, cast right. praise, praise, praise. Very good.
That's a good girl.
Very good.
Woo! Good job, heel.
Now that's switching sides like we did there.
Nice.
That switching sides, folks, is very, very important. Learn to read your dog. If she's telling you that she wants to go to the right no matter what you do, whistle sit, count to 2, make her wait, and give her a left hand cast. Change her thought pattern. Anything that she thinks she wants to do, you need to do the opposite. Thus, coming back and talking the importance about how the baseball drill and the lining drill are so crucial. Those layers need to be done before you reach this, the benchmarks need to be reached before you get to this layer. What I want you to do is to practice this for the rest of this week, and I want you to stay tuned because next week I'm going to show you the final stages of the Double T training drill. All right? Good luck.
Heel, heel, sit.
Hey folks, I sure hope you enjoyed our show today. If you have any questions about anything that you saw or any information that you'd like to have, any more information, please go to our website, WMRetriever.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook, and don't forget to join us each week as we continue to build teams for the field.
Welcome, folks.
Knock it off.